27 Exodus 27 to 29. Exodus chapter 27. The altar and the court of the tabernacle with its hangings and pillars. Provision of oil for lamps. Thou shalt make also an altar of cedar wood, which shall be 5 cubits long, and as many broad, that is 4 square, and 3 cubits high. And there shall be horns at the 4 corners of the same, and thou shalt cover it with brass. And thou shalt make for the uses thereof pans to receive the ashes, and tongs and fleshocks, and firepans. All its vessels thou shalt make of brass, and a grate of brass manner of a net, at the 4 corners of which shall be 4 rings of brass, which thou shalt put under the hearth of the altar, and the grate shall be even to the midst of the altar. Thou shalt make also 2 bars for the altar, with settim wood, which thou shalt cover with plates of brass, and thou shalt draw them through rings, and they shall be on both sides of the altar to carry. Thou shalt not make it solid, but empty and hollow in the inside, as there should be in amount. Thou shalt make also the court of the tabernacle, in the south side, whereof southward there shall be hangings of fine twisted linen of 100 cubits long for one side, and 20 pillars with as many sockets of brass, the heads of which, with their engraving, shall be of silver. In like manner also on the north side there shall be hangings of 100 cubits long, 20 pillars, and as many sockets of brass, and their heads with their engraving silver. But in the breadth of the court that looketh to the west there shall be hangings of 50 cubits, and 10 pillars, and as many sockets. In that breadth also of the court which looks to the east there shall be 50 cubits, in which there shall be for one side hangings of 15 cubits, and 3 pillars, and as many sockets. And in the other side there shall be hangings of 15 cubits, with 3 pillars, and as many sockets. And in the entrance of the court there shall be made a hanging of 20 cubits of violet and purple, and scarlet twice dyed, and fine twisted linen, with embroidered work. It shall have 4 pillars, with as many sockets. All the pillars of the court round about shall be garnished with plates of silver, silver heads, and sockets of brass. In like the court shall take up 100 cubits, in breadth 50, the height shall be of 5 cubits, and it shall be made of fine twisted linen, and shall have sockets of brass. All the vessels of the tabernacle for all uses and ceremonies, and the pins both of it and of the court, all shall make of brass. Command the children of Israel that they bring thee the purest oil of the olives, and beat it with a pestle, that a lamp may burn always, in the tabernacle of the testimony, without the veil that hangs before the testimony. And Aaron and his sons shall order it, that it may give light before the Lord until the morning. It shall be a perpetual observance throughout their successions among the children of Israel. Exodus chapter 28. The holy vestments for Aaron and his sons. Take unto thee also Aaron thy brother with his sons, from among the children of Israel, that they may minister to me in the priest's office, Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. And thou shalt make a holy vesture for Aaron, thy brother, for glory and thabezat. And thou shalt speak to all the wise of heart, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's vestments, in which he being consecrated may minister to me. And these shall be the vestments that they shall make: a rational and an ephod, a tunic and a straight linen garment, a mitre and a girdle. They shall make the holy vestments for thy brother Aaron and his sons, that they may do the office of priesthood unto me. And they shall take gold, and violet, and purple, and scarlet twice dyed, and fine linen. And they shall make the ephod of gold, and violet, and purple, and scarlet twice dyed, and fine twisted linen embroidered with divers colors. It shall have the 2 edges joined in the top on both sides, that they may be closed together. The very workmanship also, and all the variety of the work, shall be of gold, and violet, and purple, and scarlet twice dyed, and fine twisted linen. And thou shalt take 2 onyx stones, and shalt crave on them the names of the children of Israel, 6 names in one stone, and the other 6 in the other, according to the order of their birth. With the work of an engraver, and the engraving of a jeweler, thou shalt engrave them with the names of the children of Israel, set in gold, and compassed about, and thou shalt put them in both sides of the ephod, a memorial for the children of Israel. And Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord upon both shoulders, for a remembrance. Thou shalt make also hooks of gold, and 2 little chains of the purest gold, linked one to another, which thou shalt put into the hooks. And thou shalt make the rational of chipsman with embroidered work of divers colors, according to the workmanship of the ephod, of gold, violet, and purple, and scarlet twice dyed, and fine twisted linen. The rational of judgment. This part of the priest's attire, which he wore at his breast, was called the rational of judgment, partly because it admonished both priests and people of their duty to God, by carrying the names of all their tribes in his presence, and by the Urim and the Thummim, that is, doctrine and truth, which were written upon it, and partly because it gave divine answers and oracles, as if it were rational and dawning with judgment. It shall be foursquare and doubled, it shall be the measure of a span both in length and in breadth. And thou shalt set in it 4 rows of stones. In the first row shall be a sardius stone, and a topaz, and an emerald. In the second a carbuncle, a sapphire, and a jasper. In the third a ligurius, an agate, and an amethyst. In the fourth a chrysolite, an onyx, and a beryl. They shall be set in gold by their rows. And they shall have the names of the children of Israel. With 12 names shall they be engraved, each stone with the name of one according to the 12 tribes. And thou shalt make an rational chains, length one to another, of the trellised gold, and 2 rings of 12, which thou shalt put in the 2 ends at the top of the rational. And the golden chains thou shalt join to the rings that are in the ends thereof. And the ends of the chains themselves thou shalt join together with 2 hooks, on both sides of the ephod, which is towards the rational. Thou shalt make also 2 rings of gold, which thou shalt put in the top parts of the rational, and the borders that are over against the ephod, and look towards the back parts thereof. Moreover also are the 2 rings of gold, which are to be set on each side of the ephod beneath, that looketh towards the nether adorning, that the rational may be fitted with ephod, and may be fastened by the rings thereof unto the rings of the ephod of the violet lay. The joining of the vestibule may continue, and the rational and the ephod may not be loosed one from the other. And Aaron shall bear the names of the children of Israel and the rational of judgment upon his breast, when he shall enter into the sanctuary, and memorial before the Lord forever. And thou shalt put in the rational of judgment option and true, which shall be on Aaron's breast, when he shall go in before the Lord, and he shall bend the judgment of the children of Israel on his breast, and the sight of the Lord ords. Doctrine and truth. Hebrew, Urim and Thummim, illuminations and perfections. These words, written on the rational, seem to signify the light of doctrine and the integrity of life with which the priests of God ought to approach him. And thou shalt make a tunic of the ephod of violet, in the midst whereof shall be a hole for the head, and a border round about it woven, as is wont to be made in the outmost parts of garments, that it may not easily be broken. And beneath it the feet of the same tunic, round about thou shalt make as a ribarganex at violet, and purple, and scarlet twice dyed, with a little bell sepulchrine, so that there shall be a golden bell and a pomegranate, and again another golden bell and a pomegranate. And Aaron shall be vested with it in the office of his ministry, that the sound may be heard, when he goeth in and cometh out of the sanctuary, in the sight of the Lord, and that he may not die. Thou shalt make also a plate of the purest gold, wherein thou shalt grave with engraver's work, holy to the Lord. And thou shalt tie it with a violet fillet, and it shall be upon the mitre hanging over the forehead of the high priest. But Aaron shall bear the iniquities of those things, which the children of Israel have offered and sanctified, and all their gifts and offerings. And a plate shall be always on his forehead, that the Lord may be well pleased with them. And thou shalt gird the tunic with fine linen, and thou shalt make a fine linen mitre, and a girdle of embroidered work. Moreover, for the sons of Aaron thou shalt prepare linen tunics, and girdles and mitres for glory and beauty. And with all these things thou shalt fast Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him. And thou shalt consecrate the hands of them all, and shalt sanctify them, that they may do the office of priesthood unto me. Thou shalt make also linen breeches to cover the flesh of their nakedness, from the reins to the thighs, and Aaron and his sons shall use them when they shall go into the tabernacle of the testimony, or when they approach the altar to minister in the sanctuary, lest being guilty of iniquity they die. It shall be a law forever to Aaron, and to his seed after him. Exodus chapter 29. The manner of consecrating Aaron and other priests, the institution of the daily sacrifice of 2 lambs, one in the morning, the other at evening. And thou shalt also do this, that they may be consecrated to me in priesthood. Take a calf from the herd, and 2 rounds without blemish, and unleavened bread, and a cake without leaven tempered with oil, wafers also unleavened, anointed with oil. Thou shalt make them all of wheaten flour. And thou shalt put them in a basket, and offer them, and the calf and the 2 rounds. And thou shalt bring Aaron and his sons to the door of the tabernacle of the testimony. And when thou hast washed the father and his sons with water, thou shalt clothe Aaron with his vestments, that is, with a linen garment and a tunic, and the ephod and the rational, which thou shalt clothe with a girdle. And thou shalt put the mitre upon his head, and the holy plate upon the mitre, and thou shalt pour the oil of anointing upon his head, and by this rite shall he be consecrated. Thou shalt bring his sons also, and shalt put on them the linen tunics, and gird them with a girdle, to wit, Aaron and his children, and thou shalt put mitres upon them, and they shall be priests to me by perpetual ordinance. After thou shalt have consecrated the hands, thou shalt present also the calf before the tabernacle of the testimony. And Aaron and his son shall lay their hands upon his head, and thou shalt count him in the sight of the Lord beside the door of the tabernacle of the testimony. And taking some of the blood of the calf, thou shalt put it upon the horns of the altar with thy finger, and the rest of the blood thou shalt pour at the bottom thereof. Thou shalt take also all the fat that covereth the entrails, and the caul of the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and shalt offer a burnt offering upon the altar. But the flesh of the calf, and the hide and the dung, thou shalt burn abroad, without the camp, because it is for sin. Thou shalt take also 1 ram upon the head whereof Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands. And when thou hast killed him, thou shalt take of the blood thereof, and pour round about the altar. And thou shalt cut the ram in pieces, and having washed his entrails and feet, thou shalt put them upon the flesh that is cut in pieces, and upon his head. And thou shalt offer the whole ram for a burnt offering upon the altar. It is an oblation to the Lord, a most sweet savour of the victim of the Lord. Thou shalt take also the other ram upon whose head Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands. And when thou hast sacrificed him, thou shalt take of his blood, and put upon the tip of the right ear of Aaron and his sons, and upon the thumbs and great toes of the right hand and foot. And thou shalt pour the blood upon the altar round about. And when thou hast taken of the blood that is upon the altar, and of the oil of unction, thou shalt sprinkle Aaron and his vesture, his sons and their vestments. And after they and their vestments are consecrated, thou shalt take the fat of the ram, and the rump, and the fat that covereth the loins, and the caul of the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and the right shoulder, because it is the ram of consecration, and 1 roll of bread, a kid tempered with oil, the waver out of the bitrate of leavened bread, which is set in the sight of the Lord. And thou shalt put all upon the hands of Aaron and of his sons, and shalt sanctify them, elevating before the Lord. And thou shalt take off from their hands, and shalt burn them upon the altar for holocaust, a most sweet savour in the sight of the Lord, because it is his oblation. Thou shalt take also the breast of the ram, wherewith Aaron was consecrated, and elevating it, thou shalt sanctify it before the Lord, and it shall fall to thy share. And thou shalt sanctify both the consecrated breast, and it shall of thy separate of the ram, wherewith Aaron was consecrated with his sons, and they shall fall to their share, and his sons, by a perpetual right from the children of Israel, because they are the choicest and the beginnings of the peace victims which they offer to the Lord. And the holy vesture, which Aaron shall use, his sons shall have after him, that they may be anointed, and their hands consecrated in it. He of his sons that shall be appointed high priest in his stead, and that shall enter into the tabernacle of the testimony to minister in the sanctuary, shall wear it 7 days. And thou shalt take the ram of the consecration, and shalt boil the flesh thereof in the holy place, and Aaron and his sons shall do. The loaves also that are in the basket they shall eat in the entry of the tabernacle of the testimony, that it may be an atoning sacrifice, and the hands of the offerers may be sanctified. The stranger shall not eat of them, because they are holy. And if they remain of the consecrated flesh, or of the bread, till the morning, thou shalt burn the remainder with fire, it shall not be eaten, because they are sanctified. All that I have commanded thee thou shalt do unto Aaron and his sons. 7 days shalt thou consecrate their hands, and thou shalt offer a calf for sin every day for expiation. And thou shalt cleanse the altar when thou hast offered the victim of expiation, and shalt anoint it to sanctify it. 7 days shalt thou expiate the altar and sanctify it, and it shall be most holy. Every one that shall touch it shall be holy. This is what thou shalt sacrifice upon the altar, 2 lambs of a year old every day continually, 1 lamb in the morning, and another in the evening. With 1 lamb 1/10 part of flour tempered with beaten oil, with 1/4 part of a hin, and wine for libation of the same measure. And the other lamb thou shalt offer in the evening, according to the rite of the morning oblation, and according to what we have said, for a savour of sweetness, is a sacrifice to the Lord, by perpetual oblation unto your generations, at the door of the tabernacle of the testimony before the Lord, where I will appoint to speak unto thee. And there will I command the children of Israel, and the altar shall be sanctified by my glory. I will sanctify also the tabernacle of the testimony with the altar, and Aaron with his sons to do the office of the priesthood unto me. And I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel, and will be their God, and they shall know that I am the Lord their God, who have brought them out of the land of Egypt, that I might abide among them as the Lord their God.